that announcement somewhat on the heels, but it comes after Bank of the West, Robert Half, some other major announcements over the past couple of years. And I think the best thing to say is that it's indicative of just what a great business community not only Bishop Ranch is, but City of San Ramon is as a whole. And if there's one message, that's probably the best message to get out. Just to give you a couple of stats, this is from the State of California Economic Development Department. The unemployment rate for San Ramon, for the residents of San Ramon, is 4.1%. A few months ago, the Contra Costa Times ran an article about property values. San Ramon was one of the few communities in the entire county that actually had an increase in property values. A bit very slight, but still much better news than unfortunately some of the neighboring and outlying communities. The City of San Ramon has a AAA bond rating. We're in very good shape financially and as a place to invest, and that says a lot for our community. In the state of California, there are not much more than a handful of cities have that AAA bond rating. The other thing I would point out as it relates to GE, and that is, to be honest with you, I'm still trying to get a handle on what that really means for the community. They are clearly recruiting now, will be recruiting and establishing this global software center, and the number that you hear most prevalently is that they will be hiring 400 software engineers. Well, they still need all the support staff for 400 software engineers as well. So I do hope that in the next couple of months we'll get a chance to talk to GE directly and get a much better detailed ideas in terms of what that means. But when you look at San Ramon and you look at our local economy, what's happening in terms of job growth, just based on some of these recent announcements by Bishop Ranch, the City of San Ramon is in a very good shape. Community. It brings an incredible new large company into the community, but even more than that, we don't know yet what the ripple effect's going to be, and I think those are all positive. There isn't a way yet to quantify that, but with GE coming here, 400 software engineers, will other companies now come here because of that labor pool? Will they see it just from a labor pool standpoint, and that makes sense for some companies to locate here? Suppliers, other companies that deal with General Electric. So I think that has yet to be quantified, but in answer to your question, I think it's certainly the biggest announcement we've had in the last 5 years. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Well, no, I think you've hit the nail on the head. That I don't have the exact stat, but I think if you talk to the folks at Bishop Ranch, I think roughly right now 17–18%, maybe a little bit higher, of the employees at Bishop Ranch do live in San Ramon, and then there's another significant portion that live pretty close. So you're absolutely right. Suddenly now you have, at least 100 new customers for homes is probably the case, and I'd be willing to bet, you know better than I do, that's a pretty good uptick in the demand for buyers for those homes. Right now, I can tell you from a conference I went to in San Francisco last month, the panel discussion had 4 different major real estate REITs, and the representatives, who most of them I think were vice presidents, basically said, we aren't doing any new ground up because there's so much on a national level. There's so much retail space that is still left to be absorbed, and as they call it, redone or redeveloped. That's what their focus is as companies. So until we have more jobs, until we have consumer confidence up, until we have a demand for housing, owner-occupied housing, those are the factors that come into play that will then drive when City Center occurs. I mean, the interesting thing about that project is it's ready to go. I mean, Sunset could walk in tomorrow and pull a building permit. And that's the only thing that's keeping that project from happening from the city's perspective. So there's still some work that's ongoing along Bollinger Canyon in terms of infrastructure and that type of thing. So we're trying to put the pieces in place to be ready when the market tells us that it's ready for a project of that size. And so we are constantly looking at retail and looking at the opportunities. So Borders went out. We have Home Goods coming in. Marie Callender closed. We have a new restaurant called Clementine's going in there. So even though we do have some retail closures, we still have huge demand for that space, and it just takes a little bit of time for the space to turn over. So that's one thing that we're definitely keeping an eye on as well.